There's a dark room that stands between every person and the life they want. And I've learned that most people never reach that next room simply because they're terrified to walk into the darkness and feel around for the handle that opens their future. It's not that the door isn't there. It's there for everyone. Their dream is real. But the fear of moving blindly through that dark room is what keeps them from stepping into the life they keep imagining. What do you truly want? Because most people have no clarity about their desires. They never sit down, slow down, and think. Every day we're writing the story of our own life, yet we rarely take a moment to actually decide who we want the main character to be. Someone once said, "I know no greater purpose than to die trying to achieve the great and impossible." Just because something feels impossible, that should never be the reason you walk away from it. That's exactly what makes it worth chasing. Where would courage live if success was guaranteed and risk was removed? The only real failure is retreating from the challenges life puts in front of you. I always tell people, you're a single decision away from a completely different life. People make this mistake thinking change takes years. No. Change happens in one moment, one choice. The results take time, yes, but the shift itself? Instant. And I believe one of the greatest powers a human can have, especially when your back is against the wall, when money is low, when pressure is heavy, is the ability to imagine a future so compelling it pulls you forward like a lifeline. If someone feels hopeless, like there's no way out, I always ask, is there truly no way? Our strength, our resourcefulness, our courage, they all expand or shrink based on how strong our future vision is. I can endure the struggle today because I know tomorrow has something better waiting.
Bro, you need to snap back into that mode again. That mindset where nothing knocks you off your center. That mode where you're locked in, grinding every single day. That version of you, he's built different. You need to reconnect with him. Stop playing with your potential, because you're one of the chosen ones, my guy. You're not almost great. You are great. So move like it before the window closes. Some people will hate, some will praise you. But if they're hating loud, trust me, you're doing something right. The strongest test anything can face is time. Just give it space. Truth exposes itself eventually. Setbacks, problems, adversity, resistance, obstacles, they're all part of the journey, but none of them last forever. I need you to catch what I'm saying. Setbacks and challenges are normal, not permanent. When you chase something difficult, your mind automatically tries to distract you with another important task that's not as hard. It wants you to feel justified avoiding the real work. And if you give in, which most people do, that resistance inside you gets rewarded. It wins. It gets dopamine and it grows. Every time you let that inner voice win, the argument gets stronger. Tell me, how do you beat somebody who refuses to quit? How do you stop someone who gets tougher every time life hits them? We all face problems, but the difference between people is how they solve theirs. Problems are guaranteed, but they're never forever. You must be the first person who believes in you before anyone else. One day you'll wake up regretting the potential you wasted because you kept choosing comfort over effort. Fear is beaten. Hesitation is beaten, but not with hype, only with discipline. I'm scared, I'm nervous, I'm unsure, I'm doubting myself. All of that gets overwritten by one thing: discipline. That's the real requirement. There was a man who recited a poem whenever fear hit him, and it gave him the strength to continue. Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of fate, my head is bloody but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. I became who I am today because I used to be the complete opposite. I was the guy who ran from anything difficult. But let me ask you, what pain have you experienced that you've allowed to become suffering? Pain is the breakup. Pain is the business failing. Pain is losing money. But suffering is carrying that pain for years, repeating the same story, letting it poison your future. Suffering is when old memories show up when you're alone, whispering, let's relive this again. No. You tell it, I learned, I healed, I'm done. Decide today that the suffering ends. Pain is necessary. It means you're playing a bigger game. But we don't have to live in suffering. That's a choice. Life is hard because that's how the soul grows. Think of life like a weight room. If the weight is light, you won't grow. But when you start lifting something heavy, something that challenges you, it tears the muscle so it can rebuild stronger. Life works the same way. Tension, discomfort, pressure, resistance, they force your mind and spirit to evolve. But just like the gym, if it gets hard and you drop the weight, you lose the progress. If you rest, cool, but don't quit. Nothing becomes easier. Wins aren't free. Wins are earned. The score matters. Too many people think showing up is half the battle. Wrong. Showing up isn't the battle at all. If you think just being present is winning, you're nowhere near the level you could be. Life becomes way more exciting when you're disciplined and moving towards something. It doesn't have to be a giant dream, just something that pulls you out of bed and gives your days purpose. Improvement feels good, bro. Progress gives life meaning. I don't know you personally, but if you wake up lost, unmotivated, and stuck, it's because you haven't been in motion. An object at rest stays at rest. You gotta move.
The problem isn't that the journey is hard. The problem isn't that you feel fear. The problem isn't that you get tired or want to quit. The real problem is believing it's not supposed to feel like this, when this is exactly how it's meant to feel. These hurdles are part of the contract you unknowingly signed the moment you decided to chase something bigger. They are the exams you must pass to become the person you're trying to become. So lean into the struggle. Wear the pain like a badge, because one day you'll look back and realize these were the days that built you. The difference between people who achieve and people who don't has nothing to do with talent, luck, or natural gifts. It's about endurance, showing up, giving yourself a shot every single day, rolling out of bed, putting in the reps, placing yourself where opportunity can find you. Give yourself a chance, because the more you push, the sooner something clicks. I just wanted to evolve. I kept staring into the mirror, imagining who I could become. And as long as you're breathing, you're strong enough to keep going. Stay driven, disciplined, committed to the grind. And most importantly, have a plan. If you work the plan long enough, it pays off. What most people lack today is consistency and the will to stay the course. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about what you do, it's about who you are. It's not what gets you to the top, it's what keeps you there. Choose what's right over what's convenient. The way you treat people, the way you operate, the way you move, that's what defines you. Not the task, but the person doing it. If you risk nothing, you risk everything. Risk is scary, but regret will haunt you. The safe route to success isn't real. In life, the reward rarely exceeds the risk. Respect, results, and resilience all sit on the far side of fear. You have to be bold. Don't retreat. Take the risks and take what's yours. You only get one life, and if you use it properly, one is enough. Give everything you have, and life gives something back. But if you never show up, you already know the outcome. No opportunity, no breakthrough, no chance. Showing up puts you in the game. Failures aren't setbacks, they're requirements for who you're becoming. Sometimes what feels like a negative season, a setback, a pause, a dry spell, is actually the exact season you need. It's the recalibration, the moment where you tighten the spring before launching again. What's the most valuable thought you could leave behind for the world? High driving people always feel like they're behind. Hard work is ugly. It doesn't look inspiring. It looks like someone locked in a dark room with no escape, except there is a key, and you just refuse to pick it up. You're capable of anything. You can build whatever you want. Sometimes all we need is a reminder to trust ourselves. When you're deep in the struggle, it feels endless. You don't see the exit. You don't feel the progress. It's hard to trust the process when you're drowning in frustration. But it does get better. You get better. Life gets better. You just couldn't see the light at first. It felt like nothing existed except that heavy emotion you thought you'd never escape.
I wanted to feel anything other than defeat. And the truth is, you're the only one who can pull yourself out of that place. Sure, people can support you, you can lean on a few, but when it's time to make a real decision, when it's time to change your life, it's only you. If you don't change your patterns, your habits, your approach, nothing in your life will shift. One of my favorite Zig Ziglar lines is, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Get clear on what you want, tune out the noise, and do so much work that failure becomes mathematically impossible. But most of us are too busy listening to every outside voice. We forget the most important voice, the one we had as kids, our own. We stop trusting ourselves. We stop betting on the possibility of our own victory. This is what it actually feels like. 90% of the time, it's pure struggle. 8% of the time, you're confused and irritated. 2% of the time, you win. And then you're right back in that 90%. That's the real rhythm of a winner's life. But people think it's fancy cars, peace, ease, and endless smiles. No, real winners are engineered for war. They live for the challenge, not the trophy. The joy is in the fight. And when no one is around to hype you up, push you, or lift you, you have to do it yourself. That's what I'm doing now. Alone or not, the grind doesn't stop. You're not above anyone, but nobody is above you either. Not one person. The difference between you and someone successful is simply a chain of decisions they chose to make. Some people make sharper decisions, but the ability to choose the right ones is available to all of us. You owe it to yourself to make the best ones. And yes, life gets heavy. But as long as you believe your potential is bigger than any situation you're in, the obstacles don't matter. Victory becomes a matter of time. So don't quit. Don't focus on who you want to be 20 years from now. Fix one thing today. Just today. Ask yourself, am I a man I can respect today? When you go to bed, review the day. When you wake up, commit to being the best version of yourself for the next 24 hours. At the end of your life, trophies won't judge you. You will. Did you become someone you admire? That's the real scoreboard. If you can't respect the person in the mirror, nothing you accomplish will ever feel fulfilling. Earn your own respect first. Everything else follows. I'm committed to getting better every single day for the rest of my life. Because what's the alternative? Wandering through life, suffering without purpose? That's not an option. Eventually, you have to bet on yourself. No excuses, no safety net, no backup plan. A decision and the fire to see it through. Most people will never live the life they secretly want, not because they lack talent, but because they don't have the courage to take the risk. They stay where it's safe, predictable, comfortable. They tell themselves, maybe later, when the timing is right. They say it until their life becomes a museum of missed chances. Their dream didn't die, they did. Quietly, slowly, without a sound. But you're not built like that. You feel it inside, that pressure, that whisper that keeps pushing you, that awareness that if you don't jump, you'll drown in regret. You can live safe, follow the script, smile for the photos, and die quietly. Or you can burn the script, walk into the fire, and rewrite the entire story. You can chase the thing that scares you. You can walk away from comfort and step straight into the unknown. Because risk isn't scary because of danger. It's scary because of uncertainty. You don't know how it ends. You don't know if you'll make it. You don't know if the parachute opens. But what if that's the whole point? What if greatness only shows up when you step into the dark? What if the only way to become more is to risk what you are now? Every comfort you grip becomes a chain. Every risk you take becomes a key. Legendary lives aren't built by following the rules. They're built by breaking your limits, by doing the thing that terrifies you, by saying, I'd rather die chasing something real than live safe inside something fake. And in the end, you gain something priceless. A version of yourself that never bows. A life filled with pride, character, depth. The quiet confidence of someone who bet on themselves and never flinched.
You know what's far more painful than failing? Living with the thought of what might have happened if you had simply tried. Lying on your deathbed whispering, "What if?" Staring at the ceiling knowing you never had the guts to see what you are capable of. That's the real tragedy, reaching the end with a heart full of unused potential. You want safety. You want certainty. You want permission. Then stay comfortable. Stay ordinary. Stay hidden. But don't fool yourself into thinking that's what you truly wanted. Because deep down, you already know. That risk you're afraid to take, that leap, that gut punch decision, that's the doorway to the life you keep imagining. So take it. Jump. Begin. There will never be a flawless moment. You will never feel completely ready. You will never be handed all the answers. Start anyway. Speak anyway. Build anyway. Love anyway. Live anyway. Let the rest of the world wait for perfect alignment. Not you. You're the one who moves before everything makes sense. You're the one who pushes all your chips forward, not because it's safe, but because it's your calling. This isn't about recklessness. It's about refusing to suffocate underneath a life with limits. It's about choosing purpose over pretending, courage over comfort, passion over paralysis. The biggest risks you'll ever face are the ones that look insane to everyone around you, but feel undeniably right to you. Don't betray that intuition. Risk it for the vision, for the life you feel deep in your soul, for the version of yourself you haven't even met yet. Because the only thing more terrifying than taking a risk is staying exactly where you are. Procrastination is nothing more than the fear of your own potential. You know that if you took action, you'd win, you'd grow, you'd evolve. So you hide, you delay, and then the chance disappears, and suddenly staying the same feels comfortable again. That's the trap. What I'm saying about vulnerability is this. When you feel uncertain, when you feel exposed, when you feel like quitting, don't. Stay in the discomfort. Stay in the awkward conversation. Stay in the moment where most people tap out. Keep leading. Keep standing tall. Be brave. When you think about the person you desire to become, what exactly are you waiting for? What is the perfect moment you're expecting? If the journey in your heart is something you truly want, waiting for flawless conditions will destroy your momentum. The first step is the answer. Beginning is the answer. No one starts as a master. No one begins as a champion athlete or a world-class expert. They were all beginners, ordinary people who made a choice to commit and paid the price in time, effort, and discipline. Your story is unfolding right now, even as you hesitate. We wait for signs, for a message, for some blinking signal that says your breakthrough is on the way. But life isn't built on notifications. Great stories always have twists. And maybe up until now, every twist in your story has been negative. Loss, disappointment, rejection, heartbreak, failure. All that means is that a positive twist is coming. And it is. So hold your chin up. Stay prepared. Your story isn't finished. The breakthrough you want is hiding inside the work you're avoiding. The power you want is buried inside the sacrifice you haven't made. The community, the discipline, the generosity, the consistency, those are the things you're running from. You're going to face fear. You're going to face unfamiliar territory. You're going to face fire. But what matters isn't the fire, it's the way you walk through it. You can walk through complaining, or you can walk through becoming a living example that inspires others to rise. Potential isn't about what you can achieve, it's about who you can grow into. There's a saying, if all you chase is results, nothing changes. But if you chase growth, the results will follow. If you reach success without becoming the person who can sustain it, you'll lose it, because the outside changed, but the inside didn't. Pray to become the person capable of building and maintaining the life you want. Potential is identity, who you're meant to become. And truthfully, all you need to do is get up and take that first step. No waiting for tomorrow, no waiting for permission, no waiting for better timing. Take one step today, no matter how messy, how ugly, how small. That first step is the doorway to everything you've been dreaming about. The journey is what shapes you. The falls, the comebacks, the lessons, the bruises, the discomfort, the growth. That's what builds you into the person strong enough to stand at the finish line. Greatness is inside you, but you only unlock it by moving. Believing in something worth fighting for, that is where real strength comes alive. That is where persistence grows. That is where you discover you can walk past every point that used to break you. Remember how far you've already come. Look at you now, powered by faith, driven by belief, unshaken by darkness. You are a warrior of light, a catalyst for change, a voice strong enough to move mountains because you walk with something greater guiding you. I'll say it as clearly as possible. Stop waiting. Life isn't guaranteed. You could be gone next week. Don't waste your days wishing, hoping, or waiting for change. Want it enough to do the work. I'd rather be the kind of person who rises to challenges than the one who hides from them. Who do you choose to be? What do you want? How deeply do you crave it? How much are you willing to endure? Learn to handle the winters. They always come. Some winters are short, some long, some brutal, some bearable, but they always arrive. Learn to handle the night because it always follows daylight. Learn to navigate difficulty because it always comes after opportunity. Learn to survive recessions because they always follow seasons of growth. Life won't change that cycle. What must change is you. There are winters when nothing makes sense, winters when everything collapses, winters when your plans crumble, winters when the money dries up and your heart feels shattered. These are winter seasons, but they don't last forever.
Don't waste the failure, because what do most people do the moment things don't go their way? They toss the whole experience aside. But the truth is, you learn far more in defeat than you ever will in victory. When you win, you feel untouchable. When you lose, you start listening. When you hit the floor, stay there for a moment. Understand it. Why did you fall? What led you here? What mistake put you flat on your back? Because if you pop right up without studying the loss, you're going to repeat the same pattern again and again. Every time I lost, I stayed down for seconds, minutes, days, even weeks. But when I finally stood, I wasn't the same person. If tomorrow wasn't guaranteed, how far would you go today? If you believed this was your last chance to ever do the thing you love, how hard would you push? How much would you sacrifice knowing you may never get another shot? Some of you need to make decisions with the mindset, what if it actually works? Life eventually puts everyone in a collision between other people's expectations and your own dreams. You need passion to survive that. You need obsession. Because the truth is, this journey is brutally hard. And if you don't love it, if it doesn't light you up, you're going to quit. Because any logical person would. It requires long-term fight, long-term commitment, long-term heart. And in my hardest moments, 200-mile races, body wrecked, mind exhausted, spirit cracked, I'd whisper, what if I pull this off? That what if is fuel. What if I become the person nobody believes I can be? And when you say you're going to do something, it's not about the finish line.
It's about the invisible steps between the world's applause. Those tiny steps no one sees. The ones you take when nobody's watching. Don't panic. Right now you're rebuilding. Stop obsessing over everything going wrong. Start imagining what could go right if you put in the work today. No excuses. No more blaming the world for your circumstances. Take responsibility for your entire life. Move beyond the thoughts telling you you can't. Everything else can return. Money, opportunities, moments. But you don't get today back. Make it matter. Your setbacks are simply setups in disguise. You are brilliant. You are powerful. Pain doesn't just hurt, it reveals a version of you stronger than anything you faced. There is purpose in it. Use the pain as fuel for the next level. The great ones are grateful ones. Some people say, I have to work. The great ones say, I get to work. One mindset forces effort. The other fuels excellence. Gratitude makes you sharper. Gratitude forces you to put more detail into your craft, and that detail pays you back with interest. You must hold yourself accountable, truly accountable for who you are becoming. Be your own hero. Study yourself. Push yourself, because most people die without ever discovering the potential they carried. You always grow into whatever fascinates you. That is a law of the mind. Become obsessed with poverty, and you breed poverty. Become obsessed with sickness, and you invite sickness. Whatever captures your attention will capture your life. So stop focusing on what you don't want. If you desire wealth, immerse yourself in wealth. If you want success, study successful people. Fix your fascination on what you want to become. The only way you lose is if you quit. And trust me, this journey will be a fight. If quitting is already in your mind, don't even begin. If you're expecting an easy path, don't start. If you think doors won't slam in your face, don't start. But every no gets me fired up because I only need one yes. Just one. One of the greatest habits you can build is waking up early and stacking small wins. People think success is built on giant victories, big contracts, big deals, big breakthroughs. Those matter, yes, but real success is built on tiny wins repeated daily, hour by hour, day by day, month by month, until you become unstoppable. Discipline is a word people throw around, but they don't understand the cost. True discipline means years of waking up at 5 a.m., training when others sleep, sacrificing time with loved ones because you're chasing something bigger. Success requires obsession, and people won't understand your drive. They won't understand why you're different. Don't try to make them understand. You'll only frustrate yourself. Walk the journey alone. Fight the internal war. That's where you find peace, because you finally learn who you really are. Anything can be learned. If I wanted to play golf like Tiger Woods, the only thing between us is desire and repetition. Look me in the eyes. It's okay to be scared. I'm scared too, but for a different reason. I'm scared of everything I won't become. Are you scared of what I might become? I've spent 99% of my life training alone. No applause, no pats on the back, just repetition. When others went out drinking or sat watching TV, I was studying, improving, sharpening. Tiger Woods changed golf because when others went to relax, he went to work. There are no shortcuts. You can't buy a shortcut. No book, no course, no lecture will save you. I can't teach you the hunger. You have to teach yourself. I can guide you, but the truth is this. The top 1% are the ones who want it when no one is watching. The ones who pursue their vision when the world calls them insane. The ones who dream big and dare to chase it.
I refuse to end where I began. I refuse to circle back to the same place I started. I know what lives inside me. Even if you don't see it yet, look into my eyes. I'm carrying something stronger than courage. I have patience. I will grow into the person I already know I'm meant to be. We don't rise to the standards we brag about in public. We fall to the standards we hold in private. The real work, the work that defines you, is done when no one is watching. That's when you discover who you truly are, not who you pretend to be. I ran today. I trained today.
I studied today. I knocked out my tasks today. I earned my few hours of rest, and those hours feel like gold. And tomorrow, I'll go right back at it. Every morning it feels miserable, but when it's done, you feel alive. It hurts, then it heals. Every step of the grind, every moment you want to stop, you realize you beat the demon again. You win one more small battle against the version of you that wants to quit. 2 words: delayed gratification. You want to be big, strong, built, successful in fitness or anything else, then you must be satisfied doing the same simple things day after day and trusting the slow progress. Impatient people quit. It's not complicated. Anything impressive in the world, business, mastery, strength, talent, is built on years of repetition, practice, and preparation. Most of success is boring consistency. I don't know what to do, so I guess I'll wait. No, wrong, don't wait. Don't sit there hoping clarity appears. Make a bad plan and execute it. Even if it fails, you gain information. You learn. Then you adjust the plan and move again. Sitting in confusion only ages you, frustrates you, and teaches you nothing. A bad plan executed is better than a perfect plan imagined. Yes, it will take years. Yes, it will test you. But honestly, what else were you planning to do? Because here's the truth. You already know the path is long. You already know it will hurt. You already know it will stretch you, break you, rebuild you. And that's exactly why it's worth it.